Hi, this is your you know what I who I am. Today it is August 20th, 2026. It is 3:39 p.m. I'm taking my break right now because later on around like 4ish I'm going to go ahead and take the bus to a networking event and like either the bus or I might have to drive there, which it's only about 17 minutes. I'm hoping that I mean we did our oil change already, so I'm hoping things are okay with my car. I still need to figure out a way to change the oil by myself because I don't want to have to keep doing that like in a oil change area or the mechanic whoever. um but yeah, that's the plan right now. Because it's like if I don't, I'm definitely gonna do it over the weekend because I don't have as much training or not at all like to do anymore, thankfully. So I don't have anything to catch up on, except I do need to start doing paperwork for HR for my benefits because I think that's gonna start in September. So I'm gonna need to give them the details of what I would choose for my benefits. And also, I'm gonna need to do like research on that. I'm gonna also need to do my grading for work. And um, yeah, I also need let's see. Yeah, like no, those are the things that I would need to do. Um, and I don't know if you noticed, but I have a new necklace. This is supposedly clear quartz. My one of my friends, my previous coworker, she saw that she was in the middle of like she saw me get into crystals and buy so many crystals. So that's probably what like one of the things that she knows of me is that crystal girl. But so she sent me a mail sending me this crystal, um, and which was super nice. I wasn't expecting that at all. Um, and now I feel like I want to give her something, but I'm gonna wait until December, like the holidays, before I give her something because I have a feeling if I do give her something now, it's gonna we're gonna do like that back and forth. Like, okay, I'm gonna send you something again, and then like I'm gonna want to send her something again. So yeah, we're gonna not do that. For both of our sakes. And it's so like it is so nice to have friends that I'm like like I'm talking with in the long term. And it's nice to think about how far I've gotten when it comes to making friends, keeping friends, and just building relationships with people in general because I grew up in a household where that wasn't encouraged, and I grew up in a weird environment or weird type of situation where my parents separated early on in my life, and my mother had to, and I didn't live in the US all of my life. I lived in the US when I was 13, like we moved here. um and then my mom remarried, all of that. And then I was lucky enough that I was under 13 when we moved, so I was able, like, it was easier for me to get my citizenship, like after my mother got hers, because I was still a minor. Yeah. Um. Anyways, like I wasn't born here. Um. I was born in the Philippines, and my mom moved abroad, or she started working abroad to help pay for the bills. But I lived with my relatives, and I I'm guessing the Philippines were like wasn't that peaceful, or that my relatives really just didn't want to bear the blame if something happened to me, but they were extreme, like they were very strict with me, and I couldn't hang out outside of school hours with my friends. I had to stop doing my extracurricular activities because I had to come back home right after school. So I was very sheltered, and I didn't really get to have the chance to build a relationship, or I mean by relationship, like connection, not like romantic, um, with other people, like with people my age. And that has always been something that I struggled to understand and have no skills on. So I've had to, over the years, consciously build up that skill, especially because I, sorry, I just had a little thought, like kind of like completely unrelated. I'm not gonna share it with you because it's not related, to what I'm saying. But I, I, I did not have any skill at all to keep my friendships. I didn't know what to do. I lived in a family as well, where like I grew up in a place where everybody knows like everybody in the neighborhood. And so I guess I didn't really have to think about building relationships because everybody already knows whoever is around at that time. And then we moved to another like a province where the people around us are relatives of, like most of them are relatives of my relatives on the other side that are not related to me. So I didn't really need to think about building, or like really I didn't have any mirror for how my like the adults around me built relationships with people that are outside of their family or outside of the people they already know. And this has been a constant pattern that I didn't notice until I grew up, and I realized like I didn't have any model to help me understand how to build normal, healthy relationships with the people that are not part of your church, not part of your family, or relatives of some kind, or a friend of a relative. Like even that is a little iffy. Like it's usually either they're part of the church that I grew up in, or they are relatives, or both. And when we moved, when after that I moved to the United States with my mom, and she remarried, and I had a sister now, and um, a dad, and it was still similar, like, or it was different in a way that they were more isolated from the world around them. Like it wasn't like we lived in the suburbs a lot. Even though like we moved like a couple times and it was like all in the suburbs where like there's nothing around. You have to have a car to like go around places. Like not that far away, but it's still like if I wanted to walk around somewhere, like I wouldn't be able to see a city or like store around me as it like, and that's completely different from where I live now. That's why I'm complaining about it, because I didn't realize how much that also affected my growth socially, I would say. um but so my parents, they were not as friendly with the neighbors, and I think that was just the like how it was where we live. Like that was just the norm, where you don't talk to your neighbors that much, and if you talk to them, like usually you have the same or similar political views, or maybe like religious as well, just talking to it's something similar, but less involved. It was like they were friendly but less like homely, I would say, less in your business like with the neighbors. Um and that was difficult for me because I didn't have anyone to see to emulate if I want to have a friendship with another person, if I want to have a healthy friendship with someone. And by that I mean constantly checking in or finding time to make time for my friendships. And I would argue honestly that my parents, or at least my mother, did not show like she was not friendly with anyone from like this area of the world until I started calling my friends in the house. And that was even like an awkward situation for everybody, because I think they would sometimes eavesdrop on my conversations and not like it when I talk with my friends. So I've had to kind of push past that as well, that awkwardness and not wanting to be heard when I'm talking to my friends about the things I actually want to talk about. Um and yeah, it was just, I think a lot of my social interaction, like social skills, I've had to really fight for with that family, because or with my parents, because and my relatives growing up, because the people that I want to befriend, the people that I tend to be drawn to, are the people that my parents tend to judge as religious people. And I wasn't like, I had zero idea how to make a healthy, like to build a healthy relationship, and just in general, and not really have like stay friends with someone because they were from the same church or they're a relative, um which like I think we don't talk about that a lot or enough, I would say, that children who were born in religious families, how frustrating it is to have a community around you that's built upon religion, and how it's built that way to have your like your community be part of your religion or something, someone like related to that, so that it's more difficult to it's more difficult if you leave, because you're not only living that religion, you're also leaving behind the community you grew up with, your support system basically. And at least from where I grew up, it was discouraged for us to be friends with those who are outside of our religion. And not or it was discouraged, and at the same time we were pushed to convert them to like, and we were guilt tripped into thinking that we don't love our loved ones enough, our friends, relatives, if they are still continuing to be outside of the religion, because we don't care enough if they would be saved or not. Which is another set of struggle to have as well. But I still have had to deal with all of that issues, all of that trauma that I needed to unpack over the years, and now I'm not sure if I'm still if I'm still affected by that trauma, but because I am more focused on what's going on around me, and instead of what happened in the past. I don't know how we got here, but thank you for listening to my trauma and my how, like, my struggles with social skills, or my struggles with maintaining friendships with people that are not fed to me by who I grew up with, if that makes sense. Um, I am definitely planning on making a more edited video after this challenge in August. I'm planning on making an edited video about how to keep friendships and what I learned to keep your friendships, and the misconceptions that I've had, and the struggles that I've had when it comes to building friendships with people, building connections, because I used to be very anxious about what people think of me. I still kind of am, but it's lowered down quite a lot. But I used to worry way too much about caring about my relationship, my friendship with people, and how I'm being perceived, and how I'm coming off as, and just little things that, like, I overthink the little things that my friends would, say, or how they would react to things, which is not good. It's not healthy. It came to a point where I became it was just like playing in my head, and I would literally, there would be days when I would stare at my phone trying to find the best way I could send my message in a way to not upset my friends. And I realized over time that that was the reason why I hated texting, because if somebody texted me, I'm not only spending 10 minutes to respond back, I'm spending about half an hour, maybe an hour, to like recalibrate my mind, to kind of like figure out, like, deduce what they were saying and what their likely state of mind would be, like how upset they might be of me, and kind of just like have a like kind of think about, like, plan out what I'm going to say in a way that they would find funny and not upsetting, and just kind of like optimizing, try like my brain trying to optimize for how I respond, which does not end well. And if I get a response back that is not like that doesn't seem like they appreciate what I've just said, or like the opposite, where they kind of didn't understand like my joke or didn't understand what I was saying, I would spiral a little bit and kind of like think of like it another way to like respond or something. But yeah, um, I think I got a notification. I don't know what it is. Oh, okay. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I got a message. But let me see how far we are. 20 minutes. I yapped so much for this one. But we're gonna talk about that more. Um, but thankfully, I'm not like that anymore. If I like, and I don't know if it's by choice. I don't know if it's just because now I have like a lot more messages coming in that I literally, if I try, like if I do that, it's not gonna work out for me. I'm gonna be exhausted. Okay, I still spend time to think about what I'm gonna respond with, and I do. There are still times when I speak with someone and I spiral because I say something and I don't think it landed the same way as I thought it did, and I just spiral. It still happens, but less so. Um, and I'm less like I think about my messages less now. I just think about, okay, what do I want from, like, what information do I want from this conversation? Did I get that information? Okay, cool. And like, were there some kind of undertones that I was kind of picking up on? Yes, but at the same time, it's a message. Like, it's very easy to miscommunicate with messages. So, yeah, it was, my mind was an insufferable place. Like, and I didn't show it to people because, yeah, like I didn't want anyone to see how crazy or how obsessive I was in my thoughts, I would say. Or like, I guess I didn't want anyone to like, at some point, like, a part of me realized it wasn't supposed to be like that. It wasn't like normal, and I just didn't talk about it. But that's it. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I appreciate you. If you want to wait it out, I'm going to post edited videos in September. Not often, not definitely not as often as August, but maybe once one video bi-weekly, because I want to make it sustainable. And I do have two jobs right now. I have a full-time job and I have a part-time job. And in addition to that, I'm trying to keep up my routine, my call routines with my friends as well. Um, so yeah, and like other like chores, like cooking, and I'm still trying to find my groove. So I don't want to add more to that in a way that it wouldn't be sustainable for me to keep to maintain everything at once. But I will talk to you tomorrow. We're still in August. We still have 11 days, so you'll still see more of me. It's just not edited and a lot of rambling, probably. I'm so sorry about that. But this is a challenge for me. I just want to see where we go, like how comfortable we would be in front of the camera, and how comfortable we would be to start posting not as often and not get as much views as we thought, because that's hard. But not as hard like right now though, because I'm already kind of expect like I'm even surprised that people are watching some of my videos that I'm posting. But yeah, I mean, if you're still here at towards the end of this video, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And of course, like if you want to talk about your life, if you want to share what's going on with you in the comments, feel free to let me know. I will respond to you. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow.